Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going behind the scenes, of the entertainment industry using Further and Better's TV, film and media industry international news roundup. It's from January 28th, 2025.
Oh, wow.
And we're using this as our guide today. So buckle up.
Sounds good.
We've got industry trends,
Okay.
intriguing projects that are in the works, and even some executive shakeups to unpack today.
It's really fascinating, actually, how this roundup, it sort of reveals these underlying currents that are shaping the industry, the challenges, the opportunities, and just the constant evolution of how entertainment gets made.
It's like the industry never sleeps.
Never sleeps.
So let's start with something that really caught my eye. It's the evolving role of star power in television. We all know a big name can make or break a film.
Right.
But now it seems like that's kind of bleeding over into TV as well.
Absolutely. This article featuring casting director Kelly Valentine Hendry, you've probably seen her work on shows like Bridgerton and The Tattooist of Auschwitz,
Oh, yeah.
really highlights the shift. She points out that A-list actors are now a significant factor in securing funding for TV projects.
It's not just about the talent anymore. It's almost like actors are becoming financial assets themselves.
Precisely. It's because television is increasingly competing with film for that top talent. Networks and streaming platforms, they're vying for those big names to draw in viewers and, by extension, secure that crucial investment.
So securing a major star is almost like greenlighting a show itself.
In many cases, yes.
Wow.
This, of course, puts even more pressure on casting directors like Hendry. She talks about the challenge of finding the perfect chemistry, especially for ensemble casts. Like, for example, the upcoming show Rivals. It's not just about individual talent, but how those personalities interact, how they ignite on screen.
It's like assembling a complex puzzle.
Yes.
Finding those pieces that fit together perfectly
Yeah.
to create a captivating whole.
Yes.
And it's not just for the production team's benefit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hendry emphasizes that casting is a collaborative process. Okay.
The goal is finding actors who will resonate with the production team and a global audience.
It's a big job.
It is.
It speaks to the increasingly international focus of the entertainment industry.
It does.
Speaking of reaching a global audience,
Yes.
this brings us to another fascinating topic. How do you measure success in this fragmented media landscape? I mean, remember the days when Nielsen ratings were the ultimate benchmark?
Yeah. Gone are those days. The explosion of streaming platforms and content has just made audience measurement way more complex.
Yeah, measurement mayhem.
It is.
Nielsen is trying to adapt, though. They have this new big data plus panel solution. They're aiming to move beyond those traditional panel-based ratings.
Right.
But is it too little, too late?
I think there's definitely some skepticism surrounding Nielsen's new approach.
Yeah.
Especially because other companies like VideoAmp and Comscore have already sort of gained a foothold in this evolving landscape.
Right.
Even industry giants like Disney,
Yeah.
They're developing their own measurement tools, which further fragments the landscape. It makes it hard to compare, right?
Yeah.
If everyone's got their own way of measuring things. So how does this big data element change things? Like, what's Nielsen actually doing differently?
Well, they're trying to, combine their traditional panel data, which relies on a limited sample of viewers, with these massive data sets that are gathered from streaming platforms and other digital sources. And this supposedly provides a more comprehensive and accurate picture of viewership across different devices and platforms.
It sounds promising, but I can imagine there are concerns about the accuracy. And if these data sets can really capture the nuance of viewer behavior, and like you said, with everyone developing their own metrics, it's got to be tough to compare apples to apples. What does this mean for how content is valued and funded moving forward? It's a question worth pondering.
For sure. It is a critical question for the entire industry. Now, let's shift gears from quantifiable success to something that's impacting the creative process itself, the growing influence of psychologists in TV and film production.
This is where things get really fascinating to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I had no idea psychologists were so involved behind the scenes.
It's become increasingly prominent, their role, particularly in the UK, where the demand for this authentic, often very sensitive content has surged.
So it's not just about reality TV anymore.
Not at all. Psychologists are now integral to many productions, ensuring that they comply with regulations set by Ofcom, that's the UK's media watchdog.
Right.
More importantly, they play a vital role in safeguarding the mental health of everyone on set, from actors to crew members.
So they're creating a safer and more ethical working environment.
Yes.
Which is crucial given the sensitive nature of some of these stories.
Exactly. And this isn't just about ticking boxes either.
Okay.
Psychologists are also helping to enhance the authenticity of the storytelling
Interesting.
by providing insights into human behavior and mental health, They can help writers and directors craft narratives that are both compelling and emotionally resonant.
I find it fascinating that they're involved in shaping the narratives themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me a little bit more about what they actually do on set? What does that involvement look like?
So it varies, depending on the production, but it can involve reviewing scripts for potentially triggering content,
Yeah.
providing on-set support for actors dealing with difficult emotions. They might also, conduct workshops for the cast and crew to raise awareness about mental health and just create a more supportive environment.
It seems like a natural progression, given the growing awareness and sensitivity around mental health in society as a whole. And it ties in beautifully with our next story, a documentary that uses a unique and poignant approach to storytelling. Imagine a film using lenses crafted by a Jewish engineer murdered at Auschwitz.
Wow.
It's powerful.
The Last Musician of Auschwitz, directed by Toby Trackman. It's such a powerful example of how art can intersect with history in a really deeply moving way. The film utilizes these vintage lenses that were rediscovered and re-engineered by number 9 optics to film musical performances at the actual Auschwitz camp.
I mean, the very thought of it sends chills down my spine.
Mm.
Using those lenses, adds an undeniable layer of historical weight and emotional resonance. It's like a tangible link to the past.
It is. It bridges that gap between, then and now, honoring the memory of those who are lost and showcasing the enduring power of art, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy.
Really powerful. Now, turning our attention to the world of TV formats, it seems like the current trend is all about playing it safe.
It is. Sarah Tong, she's the director of sales at Hattrick International. She describes the market as extremely risk-averse. Broadcasters are prioritizing familiar, proven formats over those groundbreaking new ideas.
It's all about revivals and reboots. Have we run out of fresh ideas?
Well, it's not quite that simple. There are multiple factors at play, including economic pressures. Broadcasters are facing tighter budgets, and they're looking for shows with a guaranteed return on investment, shows they know will attract both viewers and advertisers.
So it's a financial gamble they're not willing to take.
Right.
But isn't there a risk that this aversion to risk could stifle innovation and originality? I mean, are we doomed to a future of endless reboots?
It's a valid concern for sure, and it's a conversation happening throughout the industry. But even within this risk-averse climate, there are those glimmers of innovation.
Oh.
For example, scripted format adaptations are gaining traction.
Okay.
It's a way to leverage proven concepts while still introducing fresh elements.
It's like a hybrid approach, striking a balance between the familiar and the new.
Exactly.
And what about Hattrick's strategy? They seem to be navigating this landscape quite effectively.
Yeah, they're really focusing on cost-effective solutions and spin-offs,
Yep.
which allows them to balance innovation with risk management.
Yeah.
So instead of entirely new concepts, they're breathing new life into existing formats, creating spin-offs like Rich Holiday, Poor Holiday, and Have I Got Sport for You. These kind of build on the success of the originals while still offering something new.
It's a smart business move, that's for sure. Now, I'm really eager to hear about some of the most intriguing projects that are generating buzz. Let's start with a project that caught my eye, The Stolen Child. It's a medieval fantasy epic set to debut at the European film market in Berlin.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. The Stolen Child. Yeah, it has the potential to be really visually stunning. Director Sebastian McKinnon, he's drawing inspiration from Celtic folklore with hints of like the Lord of the Rings and Stalker kind of woven into the narrative.
And the premise sounds captivating.
Yeah.
A grieving young prince taken under the wing of a fairy queen,
Right.
unintentionally unleashing chaos in the human realm. It seems like there's this potential for both epic storytelling and breathtaking visuals.
Absolutely. And that unique blend of fantasy and folklore is generating a lot of excitement. Now, let's delve into a topic that sparked a lot of debate at this year's Sundance Film Festival. The viability of indie TV as a model for the future of television. We have contrasting viewpoints from the Duplass brothers and Cooper Raiff, both successful indie filmmakers who have ventured into the world of television.
I gotta say, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, they are.
Raiff's experience with his self-financed series, Hal and Harper, starring Lily Reinhart and Mark Ruffalo, is a particularly interesting case study.
It is.
He talks about the creative freedom that he enjoyed outside the traditional studio system.
Yeah.
Which allowed him to tell his story without interference.
Right. However, he also acknowledges those financial hurdles that independent creators face.
Of course.
Securing funding, distribution, and marketing. It can be a real uphill battle, especially when you're competing with the resources of major studios. It's kind of a classic dilemma, creative freedom versus financial security. It's fascinating to see this parallel with the rise of independent film in the 90s. Will indie TV follow a similar trajectory? Eventually become a powerful force in the industry? Or are these creators just fighting an uphill battle?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a question on everyone's mind, but one thing is clear. There is this growing appetite for diverse voices and stories. And indie TV might just be the perfect platform for those stories to find their audience. It might be a tougher road, but the rewards, both creatively and potentially financially, can be significant.
Yeah. So before we move on to the many other exciting projects in development, let's take a quick look at some of the leadership changes that are shaking up the industry.
Okay.
It seems like there's been a lot of executive shuffling lately.
There has. We have quite a few moves to cover.
Okay.
So hold on tight.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. Let's start with Benijay Entertainment. They've restructured their scripted division, bringing in Steve Matthews and Johannes Jensen to head up the creative and business sides, respectively. So this shakeup follows the departure of their previous head of scripted.
Okay.
Over at PGS Entertainment, the folks behind Alvin and the Chipmunks, Pauline Berard has joined as Global Sales and Acquisition Manager, so she'll be leading the charge on bringing those beloved chipmunks to new audiences worldwide.
Love it.
Screen Australia, on the other hand, is making a big push into the gaming world with the appointment of Joey Egger as their first ever head of games.
Oh, wow.
It's a clear sign of the times, recognizing the explosive growth and increasing influence of the gaming industry.
For sure.
Dancing Ledge Productions, the company behind The Responder, is bringing on Lottie Beasley Mestriner as executive producer.
Yeah.
She's got a strong background in comedy, so it'll be interesting to see what she brings to their upcoming projects.
Yeah.
And over at Wild Child Animation, we have a 2-for-1 deal. Anthony Elliott Finch stepping up as head of business development and Hannah Ferguson joining the team as the new head of production. Looks like they're gearing up for some major growth and exciting new ventures.
Wow. Busy over there.
It is. 19 Entertainment, the company behind American Idol, has appointed Joey Arbogee as EVP of Music. So with his background at Epic Records, he's sure to bring some fresh energy to their music-related ventures. And finally, Bonnie Bernstein, a veteran talent agent, is making a move from CAA to Gersh as a senior partner.
Big move.
It is. With her impressive roster of clients, which includes Michelle Monaghan and Michael C. Hall, she's a major asset to any agency.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these executive moves, they're a testament to just the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of the entertainment industry. It's a constant dance of talent strategy and adaptation.
Speaking of adaptation, let's jump over to the festival circuit for a moment, where filmmakers and industry professionals gather to showcase new works and spot emerging trends.
Yeah, let's do it. Nippon TV is making a splash at the London TV screenings with 2 intriguing shows, The Hotspot and Ensemble.
Okay.
So The Hotspot is a sci-fi dramedy. It's about a single mother who finds herself saved by an extraterrestrial life form.
Okay.
It's directed by Ataru Mizuno, whose previous show, Rebooting, was picked up by Netflix.
Oh, wow.
So there's definitely some buzz surrounding this one.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued by sci-fi that ventures into the realm of human connection. And Ensemble, a legal romance, exploring the relationship between a pragmatic woman and an idealistic man.
Sounds like a classic opposites attract setup.
Yeah.
With a legal twist.
Yeah. What about Sundance 2025? Any notable trends emerging from this year's festival?
Well, one of the most talked about trends at Sundance this year is a shift toward a more subdued style of storytelling. There seems to be this focus on gentle explorations of complex themes, a departure from the bolder, more provocative works that have characterized the festival in the past.
That is interesting. Do you think this is a temporary shift in the indie film landscape? Or a sign of a broader trend?
Hard to say for sure, but it could be a reflection of the current cultural climate, a desire for stories that offer solace and introspection, rather than confrontation.
Maybe it's a way of processing the complexities of the world around us through a more contemplative lens.
Possibly.
But speaking of exciting projects, let's dive into some of the most intriguing films and television shows that are currently in development.
This is always my favorite part. So much potential, so many stories waiting to be told.
I know. First up, we have ITV's The Undercover Police Scandal, Love and Lies Exposed, a 3-part series that delves into the UK's Kaos scandal.
Oh, wow.
It's a harrowing story about undercover officers who deceived women into intimate relationships, and the series will feature first-hand accounts from 5 of those women.
It's a powerful and important story that deserves to be told for sure.
Absolutely.
And it raises some serious questions about ethics and accountability within law enforcement. Next, we have Sky History's Bradley Walsh, Egypt's Cosmic Code. It's a documentary series that explores the engineering marvels of ancient Egypt.
Bradley Walsh,
Yeah.
who many know from Doctor Who.
Exactly.
He'll be guiding viewers through the mysteries of, iconic monuments like the Great Pyramid and Tutankhamun's tomb. I'm a sucker for those historical deep dives, so this one is definitely going on my watch list.
If you're in the mood for something a bit darker,
Okay.
Max has The Takedown, American Aryans, a documentary series that takes a deep dive into the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, a violent organized crime group with roots in Nazi ideology.
A chilling reminder that extremism and hate groups continue to pose a threat in our society.
They do.
The series promises to uncover the ATF's mission to dismantle this dangerous syndicate.
For those looking for a bit of lighter fare, Peacock has greenlit The 5-Star Weekend. It's a drama starring Jennifer Garner. It's based on Ellen Hilderbrand's best-selling novel. It follows a food influencer who hosts a weekend retreat with friends after experiencing a personal tragedy.
It sounds like the perfect escape,
It does.
with a mix of drama, friendship, and, beautiful scenery.
Exactly.
And speaking of escaping into a good story, fans of the popular history podcast, The Rest is History, will be thrilled to know that it's being adapted for television.
If I didn't know that, that's great.
I know. Gary Lineker's Goalhanger Productions is teaming up with Brent Montgomery's Wheelhouse to bring the podcast's unique blend of history and storytelling to the screen.
Wow.
With millions of listeners worldwide, this adaptation has the potential to be a major hit. Next up, we have a modern retelling of Robin Hood, coming to MGM+, starring Australian actor Jack Patton in the titular role.
Oh, cool.
It'll be interesting to see how they modernize this classic tale. They're aiming for a blend of romance, historical authenticity, and psychological depth, which could make for a compelling reimagining. And for fans of The White Lotus, HBO has released a teaser trailer for Season 3, which promises more lavish locations, indulgent cocktails, and of course those ominous body bags.
Of course.
This time, the action shifts to Thailand, with Natasha Rothwell reprising her role as Belinda, now leading a corporate retreat. I can't wait to see what kind of chaos unfolds in this new setting.
Doctor Who fans, get ready.
Yes.
The BBC has announced a new team of writers for the upcoming series, including Juno Dawson, Inu Ellams, Pete McTighe, and Sharma Angel Waffle.
Wow, that's exciting.
It is!
It's always exciting to see those fresh voices join, a beloved franchise like Doctor Who. I'm eager to see what new perspectives and stories they bring to the show.
Absolutely. It injects new energy into a long-running series.
For sure.
And speaking of fresh perspectives, UK TV has commissioned Cape Carnage, Killer Touch. It's an adventure documentary series. It follows a family of fishermen who brave the treacherous waters of the Gulf of Carpentaria to catch Spanish mackerel.
That sounds like a real-life thriller.
It does.
Stunning visuals, high-stakes action,
Yes.
offering a glimpse into a way of life that's both exhilarating and dangerous.
And for animation enthusiasts, Toon de Tango and Schleich are teaming up to create a CGI animated series based on the popular Eldrador Creatures toy line.
That's a great example of how toy companies are leveraging the power of storytelling to expand their brands and reach new audiences.
Yes.
They're not just selling toys anymore. They're creating these whole worlds and characters that kids can connect with.
And UK TV is bringing back the romance with First Dates Beach Club,
Oh, nice.
a spin-off of their popular dating show First Dates. This time, the action takes place at a glamorous Mediterranean beach location, so hopefully the scenery will help those first date jitters. I'm a sucker for a good love story, so I'll definitely be tuning in to see if any sparks fly.
You do?
And for all you cinephiles out there, Christopher Nolan is taking on The Odyssey,
Oh, wow.
and he's planning to film part of it on Sicily's Goat Island, which is believed to be the place where Odysseus landed in Homer's epic poem.
Amazing. And of course, Nolan wouldn't be Nolan without pushing the boundaries of filmmaking.
No.
So he'll be using new IMAX technology to capture the stunning scenery. I'm already picturing those epic shots.
Jackie Chan is back with The Shadow's Edge, a Mocasset heist thriller in which he plays a retired surveillance expert who mentors young detectives.
It's a classic Chan formula, blending action, comedy, and, heart-pumping stunts.
It is.
And for fans of Kevin Hart, Bet Plus has greenlit Lil Kev, its first animated series,
Oh, wow.
which is inspired by Hart's childhood in North Philadelphia.
That's cool.
Hart will be voicing the lead character, so we can expect his signature humor and, over-the-top energy to shine through.
It's exciting to see Bet Plus venturing into animation. This show has the potential to be a big hit.
For sure.
Finally, let's wrap up this part of our deep dive with a quick rundown of some notable deals and acquisitions that are shaping the industry. Magnify has acquired global sales rights for The Botanist, a coming-of-age story set in Xinjiang, China, which is set to premiere at the Berlin Film Festival.
Okay.
Icelandic broadcaster Simon has picked up Manifesto, a crime thriller that explores the aftermath of a terrorist attack in Iceland.
Wow.
It's based on real events, so it's sure to be a gripping and thought-provoking series. Align has raised a whopping $120 million for its Take-Two fund, which will invest in international film and TV projects. With a focus on projects with budgets between $5 and $25 million, Align is poised to make a big impact on the global entertainment landscape.
Wow.
Utopia is launching PowerFlix, a platform that gives filmmakers more control over their global release strategy.
Interesting.
This is a game changer for independent filmmakers who often struggle to navigate that complex world of distribution.
Yeah.
And Netflix continues its global domination, acquiring Spanish streaming rights for Innate, a thriller starring Elena Anaya and Imanol Arias.
It's clear that the global entertainment landscape is as dynamic and diverse as ever.
It is.
From big-budget blockbusters to intimate indie films,
Yeah.
there's a constant flow of news stories and creative voices vying for our attention.
It is enough to make your head spin.
It is. But in a good way, of course.
Okay.
And we've only just scratched the surface. We'll be back in part 2 to delve deeper into some of these trends and projects. And we'll explore what they might reveal about the future of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Okay, sounds good.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of entertainment. Before we jump back into all those intriguing projects in development, I wanted to circle back to something we touched on earlier, this trend of risk aversion in the formats market.
Yeah.
It really got me thinking.
It's definitely a topic worth unpacking further. Remember Sarah Tong's comments about the current market, how it's so risk-averse? That's not just a random observation. It's driven by some powerful forces in the industry.
You mean how everyone seems obsessed with reboots and revivals these days? It sometimes feels like they've just completely run out of new ideas.
Right, but as you said, there's more to it than that. There are a lot of factors at play. Economic pressures, for one, are a huge factor. Broadcasters are facing tighter budgets these days, so they're looking for those sure bets, shows they know will pull in viewers and advertisers.
It's a financial gamble they're not willing to take, which makes sense from a business perspective. But what about the creative side of things? Doesn't this constant reliance on familiar formulas stifle innovation and originality?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's a valid concern, and it's something that a lot of creators are grappling with. But even within this risk-averse environment, there are these sparks of innovation. Take scripted format adaptations, for example. They're becoming increasingly popular, and they offer a way to, capitalize on a proven concept while still bringing something fresh to the table.
It's like a hybrid approach, the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
You get the comfort of familiarity, but with a new spin. What about hat-trick strategy? Focusing on, cost-effective solutions and spin-offs.
That's a savvy approach. It allows them to balance innovation with risk management. They're finding ways to, breathe new life into existing formats, creating spin-offs like, Rich Holiday, Poor Holiday, and Have I Got Spark for You, which leverage the success of the originals while still offering something new. It's a win-win.
Makes a lot of sense. It's a smart way to adapt to the current market while keeping those creative juices flowing.
Okay.
Let's get back to those projects that have everyone buzzing. We left off talking about Christopher Nolan's ambitious plan to film part of the Odyssey on that remote Sicilian island.
Right.
That just sounds epic.
It's a perfect example of how filmmakers are constantly pushing boundaries, creatively and technically, using new IMAX technology to film on location in such a unique and historically significant setting. It's going to be visually spectacular. I can't wait to see the results.
I can practically feel the sea spray and hear the clash of swords.
I know.
And speaking of visually stunning locations, the teaser trailer for The White Lotus Season 3, everyone's talking about the show's move to Thailand.
Thailand is a perfect choice for The White Lotus. From the luxurious resorts to the vibrant culture, it offers such a rich and evocative backdrop for the show's, signature blend of drama, satire, and social commentary. And with Natasha Rothwell back as Belinda, we know there's going to be a lot of sharp wit and keen social observation woven into those storylines.
It's fascinating how The White Lotus manages to tackle different social issues each season, while maintaining that signature dark humor and interpersonal conflict. It's a winning formula.
What about the documentary projects? Some of those sound particularly compelling.
Yeah, documentaries are such a powerful way to explore complex issues and shed light on untold stories. The undercover police scandal, Love and Lies Exposed, for example, it's a prime example of that. It's such a shocking and heartbreaking story, and it's crucial that these women's experiences are brought to light. It raises serious questions about the abuse of power and the long-lasting impact of deception. It's a story that needs to be told, and I commend those women for sharing their experiences. On a lighter note, Bradley Walsh, Egypt's Cosmic Code, sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
I love a good historical deep dive.
Me too. Yeah, Bradley Walsh has a way of bringing history to life. The series will kind of delve into those mysteries of ancient Egyptian monuments, exploring not just the engineering feats, but also, theories about potential extraterrestrial influences.
I mean, who doesn't love a good alien theory?
I know, right? It promises to be both entertaining and thought-provoking.
I'm adding that one to my watch list for sure. And for those who prefer their history with a side of true crime, The Takedown. American Aryans offers a chilling glimpse into the world of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas.
Right. It's a timely and important topic, unfortunately. Given the rise of extremism and hate groups in recent years, this series serves as a stark reminder of the very real dangers posed by these organizations.
Absolutely. It's crucial that we confront these issues head on. And speaking of confronting issues, the UK's Spy Cop scandal. It's a stark example of the misuse of power and the devastating impact it can have on individuals and communities.
It is. It's a betrayal of trust on such a fundamental level, and the ripple effects are felt for years, even decades.
Now let's lighten the mood a bit and talk about something more fun. Animation. Lil Kev, Bet+'s first foray into, adult animation, is inspired by Kevin Hart's childhood experiences. And with a cast that includes Wanda Sykes and Dion Cole, it's bound to be hilarious.
I'm excited to see what they do with it. It's great to see Bet+ expanding into different genres, and with Hart's comedic talent and the brilliance of Sykes and Cole, Lil Kev has all the ingredients for a hit.
For sure. Speaking of venturing into different territories, Cape Carnage, Killer Catch, promises to take us on a thrilling ride with a family of fishermen who risk their lives to catch Spanish mackerel in the treacherous waters of the Gulf of Carpentaria.
Yeah, it's a real-life adventure story, Beautiful, dangerous, and a testament to the resilience of those who make their living from the sea. It offers a glimpse into a way of life that's, both captivating and humbling.
And let's talk about the business side of things for a moment. The deals and acquisitions that are constantly shaping the entertainment landscape are always fascinating.
They are. They're like the tectonic plates of the entertainment world, constantly shifting and reshaping the landscape.
Magnify's acquisition of global sales rights for The Botanist, a coming-of-age story set in Xinjiang, China. That speaks to the growing international appeal of stories from diverse cultures.
Right.
Which is great.
It's a positive sign. It shows that distributors are recognizing the value of stories from underrepresented communities. The demand for content that reflects the richness and complexity of the world we live in.
Icelandic broadcaster Simmons' acquisition of Manifesto, that crime thriller set in Iceland, also highlights this trend. It's a reminder that even in the most, seemingly peaceful and idyllic places, darkness can lurk. And trauma can have a profound impact.
Yeah, it's a story that resonates on a human level, regardless of where it takes place.
Alliance Take-Two Fund, with its $120 million war chest. It's a major investment in international film and TV projects.
It is.
It's a clear indication that there's this growing appetite for stories from around the world.
Yeah.
And investors are willing to bet big on them.
It's an exciting time to be a part of this global entertainment ecosystem. The barriers to entry are lower than ever, and there are more opportunities than ever to tell diverse and compelling stories.
And Utopia's PowerFlix platform is a game changer for independent filmmakers, giving them more control over their global release strategy.
Right.
Empowering them to reach a wider audience.
Yeah, it's a much-needed disruption of the traditional distribution model, putting more power in the hands of the creators.
Absolutely. Yeah. And finally, Netflix, a global powerhouse, continues to expand its reach, acquiring Spanish streaming rights for Innate, a thriller starring Elena Anaya and Emanol Arias.
Right. Netflix is a force to be reckoned with. Their commitment to providing a diverse range of content to its global subscriber base is a testament to their ambition and reach.
We've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
From risk aversion in the formats market to all those exciting projects in development,
Yeah.
from the business deals to the creative trends,
Yeah.
it's clear that the world of entertainment is constantly evolving.
It's a dynamic, ever-changing landscape shaped by a multitude of forces: economic, technological, social, and artistic.
And we'll continue exploring these themes in part 3, where we'll wrap up our deep dive with some final thoughts on what all of this means for the future of entertainment. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've made it to part 3.
Part 3.
We've journeyed through this bustling landscape of TV, film, and media, uncovering all those trends, the challenges, those projects that have us buzzing.
Yeah. And now, as we reach the final act of our deep dive, it's time to step back and consider that bigger picture.
Yeah, what does it all mean?
Right, exactly. What are the key takeaways from all these industry shifts? Creative endeavors, executive shakeups? What stood out to you?
Well, one of the most striking things, themes that emerged for me was this tension between familiarity and innovation. We see it in the formats market, broadcasters drawn to proven concepts, while cautiously exploring, scripted adaptations and spin-offs.
Right.
We also see it in the rise of indie TV,
Yeah.
where creators are seeking that freedom outside the traditional studio system, often at the expense of financial security.
Right. It's this constant balancing act, like a tug of war between playing it safe and taking risks.
And no easy answers.
No easy answers, and the stakes are high for everyone involved.
Absolutely. And this tension isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
It can actually be a catalyst for creativity, pushing both the creators and the studios to find new ways to engage audiences
For sure.
while navigating all these constraints.
It's like trying to reinvent a classic recipe. You have those tried and true dishes everyone loves, but sometimes you want to add a new twist.
Right.
Experiment with different flavors, or find a way to kind of make it your own.
That's a perfect analogy.
And that's what we're witnessing in the entertainment industry. There's that constant push and pull between the comfort of familiarity and the excitement of the new.
Yeah, and this tension isn't just about the content itself.
Right.
We're also seeing it play out in how content is measured, distributed, and ultimately consumed. I mean, the explosion of streaming platforms has undeniably disrupted the traditional TV landscape, creating new challenges and opportunities at every turn.
Right, and the fragmentation of the measurement landscape with companies like Nielsen racing to catch up to those newer players like VideoAmp and Comscore. It highlights the need for accurate and standardized ways to track viewership in this multi-platform world.
It's like the Wild West out there, a new frontier with the rules still being written. And then we have initiatives like Utopia's PowerFlix platform,
Right.
which is putting more control in the hands of independent filmmakers,
Yeah.
allowing them to kind of bypass the traditional gatekeepers and connect directly with a global audience.
It's a potential game changer.
It is.
This democratization of distribution,
Yeah.
it has the potential to level the playing field, giving those smaller films and filmmakers a chance to shine alongside those big studio productions.
It's a fascinating time to be following the entertainment industry. There's a palpable sense of both uncertainty and excitement as the old guard and the new guard grapple for dominance, each trying to find their footing in this evolving landscape.
Yeah, amidst all this change and uncertainty, one thing remains constant: the enduring power of storytelling. Whether it's a sweeping historical epic, a poignant documentary, a laugh-out-loud comedy, or a heart-wrenching drama, stories have that unique ability to transport us, connect us, and make us feel something. And that's a powerful thing.
It really is. At the end of the day, we're all seeking connection and meaning in our lives. And stories, in all their forms, give us a way to explore those themes, to see the world through different lenses, and to understand ourselves and each other a little bit better.
Beautifully put. As we conclude this deep dive, I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder. What role do you think entertainment plays in shaping our understanding of the world and ourselves?
That's something to think about. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to connect with us on social media or drop us a line. We might even feature your response in a future deep dive.
And be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the articles and information that we discussed today. There's a whole universe of entertainment out there waiting to be explored.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of TV, film, and media. Until next time, happy viewing.